Good afternoon. It is 3 o'clock. We are called to order the study session of the City of Farmers Branch City Council. And our first order on the agenda for the study session is to discuss the regular items, item A1. Mr. Roman, we'll start with you. We'll go around the room this way, please.
I'm good, thank you.
Very good. Councilwoman
I'm
Woods?
good.
Thank you. Councilman Driscoll.
Super good today, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, I got a question on items I-7 and I-8. With the water meter box and encoders, the legislative text said that we budgeted $3 million for these items. Between these two, we have 600 and something thousand, so have we already spent other parts of the 3 million, or is that to come, or was the rest of it?
No, this is the first part. We're ordering everything that we need so we can go down the road. In parts alone, we're probably gonna have, once it's all said and done, close to $1 million. The rest of it will be, then we'll have to hire a contractor that will actually come in and install everything once we get all the parts. Because we have a lead time of 8 to 9 months to get all these parts.
Right.
So, then we'll have a contractor. Now, you did budget 3 million. We estimated 1.7 for all the residential meters. The balance will go to take care of larger
The
meters.
bigger commercial meters.
Yes, and we're putting together a bid for that right now.
Okay. And do I recall correctly, this might have come from the budget meetings, we were trying to get ahead of a price increase on purchasing meters?
That's correct. The meters, basically, actually, those meters were on, that was the other part. That was on a previous meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
The actual meters, because we had to get them ordered before the end of October,
Right, okay.
which we
that's
did
what-
that. That was another 300,000 to 400,000 right there.
Okay, that's what I remembered, thank you.
Yes.
I don't know if this is the right time to talk about it. I have a question on I-4. The ordinance 3773, removing garage sale regulations. Will there be a presentation today, or is this?
No, it was
Time for
just put on the
questions.
consent agenda,
Okay.
and you all seemed to be pretty good with when I went over it the first time, so I don't have anything for you today.
Okay, very good. So my only question on that one is there a communication plan for residents to let them know about, you're not gonna have to register your garage sale, you can have 2 a year, there's these rules? What's
Yes,
that look like?
yes, we're gonna work a lot with our communications folks. It's gonna go out on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. The officers themselves, including the animal officers, will be out spreading the word while they register garage sales. We'll have it on multiple websites, and code enforcement's website. So, yes, we're gonna do everything we can to push it out there.
And for those folks that may have a garage sale, we have a plan to maybe stop in and say, hey, hope your sale is making you lots of money, but know that we have new codes in place, so next time, or,
Well, if we come across a garage sale that's happening at that moment, we're gonna register it on the spot.
Gotcha.
And that will be, number one of two, so it's counting.
Good.
And that'll be the educational moment that we can take advantage of too. But that one will count and it'll get registered.
okay,
Right there on the spot.
excellent. Thank you, Leo.
Sure.
All right, one more question on I-11. The demo rebuild on Castleton.
Yes, right here.
So Allison, do you know, does the owner have any intentions to attempt to extend their backyard fence into the easement of the alley? Have there been any discussions or?
To extend the fence, I haven't asked, but I can. Would the question be, where is the fence going to be placed?
Well, right, because recently I've encountered a situation where the property owner received a hold harmless letter with the utility companies of that easement, and now their fence extends into the easement several feet, and utility companies now are having trouble getting to equipment. So this may be something that we need to talk about in a broader context.
Yeah, thank you for letting me know. I'll make sure they're aware so they can plan accordingly.
Okay,
And I can follow up in an email with you.
okay. Actually, if you want, if you want to talk about it more, we can. So
Thank you.
that's all I have. Thank you.
Leo, I just have one follow-up on the I-4
Yes.
communication plan. The document did say that those that would be hosting a garage sale would have to have a document showing that they've registered.
Yes.
So is there a form that they now receive once they register automatically?
Yes, it's like it'll look like a permit,
Okay.
like a vacant building registration. We have those, so it'll look similar to that, but it'll actually be a document that they can have out for folks to see.
And they can get it both in hard copy as well as electronically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, the law as it's written says that you have to have your registration posted.
Correct.
So they will have to get it, a hard copy so that they can show it at the sale.
Very good, okay. That was my only question. The others have been answered already. Anything else on regular agenda as we move forward? If not, that will take us to item A2, to discuss the city charter review process and appoint to the Home Rule Charter Committee.
Good afternoon, Council. Stacy Henderson, City Secretary. I'm here to talk to you today about the upcoming process for our charter review. Our city charter states currently that every 5 years, the City Council appoints a charter committee to review the charter and provide any recommendations to council on proposed amendments. The last charter committee was created in 2017, and we had a charter election in 2018. So the Charter Review Committee will receive recommendations from council on specific items to consider as part of their review. And then we'll also do a technical review to make sure that we are in compliance with state law. The city charter requires that the committee be made up of at least 13 members. So each city council member can appoint 2 members to the committee, including the mayor. And then the council as a whole will appoint a chairperson for that committee for a total of 13. So that committee will start, they'll meet, they'll establish their dates and times and locations of where they want to meet. Based off the last charter review committee, it took approximately 3 months for them to review the items that were put in front of them. And so we're assuming that, depending on the items before them, it may take approximately 3 to 4 months for them to review. And of course, the council I'll come to you beforehand, before that committee starts, so we can get a recommendation on items that you would like the committee to take a look at and review as part of their review process. The mayor and council will discuss and meet with the review committee, and the city attorney will lead those meetings as well to make sure we're in compliance. And so as part of following the charter guidelines, I'm going to be bringing forward a resolution at the next council meeting in December to create the committee, but I would like to postpone appointing any members until our May 2023 election so that we can have a full council seated, and then I can bring back that guidelines established for a May 2024 election. And that's all the questions I have, and I didn't even go through here we are, questions.
I have one question,
Sure.
Stacy. I understand what you said about after the May election, that makes sense, but do you want our topics at a certain date from each of us, or you want to wait also till after May?
I would bring that to you probably your second meeting in May so that
Okay.
we can get the council seated, and then we can start the process in June with our charter review committee.
Okay, thank you.
And that gives you time in the interim to take a look at the charter, talk with any citizens that you may feel a good fit for that committee.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Stacy? All right.
Thank
Stacy,
you.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Brings us then to agenda item A3, to discuss future agenda items. And I believe we all had a list provided to us, as has been the normal recent protocol. Anything to add? We'll follow the same pattern we did a moment ago. Councilman Rome?
Yes, I do have some agenda items that I'd like to add. So first, I want to discuss the converted garage ordinance and see if any changes are necessary there. I'd also like to discuss poor lighting in neighborhoods. I know that Mayor Dye had this item on the agenda, and I want to make sure it doesn't come off. I want to make sure we discuss the city amenities on the west side. And lastly, the last item I'd like to make sure we discuss in public is the property maintenance code as it relates to agricultural land on the west side. And that's it for me.
Okay. I think going forward, there might be a need to have a little clarity on the scope of those. Those are very broad topics. And so if you might be able to provide subsequent to this, some detail for council and staff on what those focus scopes are, that would be helpful.
I have nothing to add at this time.
Thank you. Councilman Driscoll?
I'm good today, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem, I've just got a question about, what is the timetable for some of these items to make it into discussion in the future? Because I know some of them have been hanging out there for a while, and
John, I may pass
Yeah,
the time to you, please, sir.
I believe property maintenance is actually scheduled for the next council meeting, if I'm not mistaken. Poor lighting in neighborhoods, we probably need a little bit more clarity on that. Amenities on west side may need a little more input on that one. The property maintenance code as it relates to agriculture, the converted garage ordinance is something that we've previously worked on. I would suggest that could be back at the next meeting or the first one in January. Some of those are going to take a little more research and a little prep work. Several of these are already in progress.
so I got a pretty frantic call over the weekend from a resident that was driving was driving in front of his wife, went across an intersection, and she almost got T-boned in an intersection. He was pretty shook up, as you can imagine, and was encouraging me to emphasize, the speeding and just traffic that we have in Farmers Branch, to try and address speeding, traffic congestion. I know that my particular street, there's a lot of speeding, but throughout Farmers Branch, we have certain residential streets where there's a real danger that we need to address in some way. And so I'd just like to see that pushed up on the list, or for there to be some attention to that, because in my mind, it's really important when it comes to resident safety.
Fair enough. And again, I think we will talk to the chief. Chief, is there anything you want to add or question related to this at the moment? I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No problem. Yeah, obviously, whenever we get any type of concern, we just need location and general time so that we can have the beat officer, that'll be part of their daily duty, is to be in that area whenever that's going on. We also have our traffic officers as well, so we can reinforce with that. So
Yeah.
we can definitely make an impact.
Yeah, I understand, I appreciate that, but I don't know that, given our current staffing levels and just the activity we have, that adding or commandeering one of our officers on the street to sit there and watch for speeders is the most efficient approach. So I'm just anticipating that we're going to try to think creatively, do some research, And I'd just like to see us do that sooner than later because it's public safety. So, thank you, Chief.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Oh, no, thank you.
All right, thank you. I do have one item. It came, I believe all of the council was copied on a communication from the Oak Brook Homeowners Association, Colleen Rulin, the president there of the Homeowners Association. I'd like to put that on the agenda so we can look at some of our opportunities and some of the past approaches that have been played out there, and give it the due diligence that is certainly needed there. So that would be my ask for the Oak Brook Homeowners Association. Anything else, one more time around? Seeing none? All right. Well, that concludes our study session, and this will now lead us into executive session. And did our guest appear for the Netflix? They're here. Thank you very much. All right. So I will read. Council may convene into a closed executive session pursuant to section 551.071, parentheses 1 of the Texas Government Code regarding the consultation with attorney regarding contemplated litigation with Netflix and streaming networks. I'll read the others as well. Council also may convene into closed executive session pursuant to section 551.074, personnel deliberations, and section 551.071, parentheses 2 of the Texas Government Code to discuss and review code of ethics complaint against former Mayor Robert Dye and receive a report from the city attorney regarding said complaint. The council may convene into a closed executive session pursuant to section 551.074, personnel deliberation of the Texas Government Code to discuss an appointment to the position of mayor to fill an unexpired term until May of 2023. And the council may convene into closed executive session pursuant to section 551.074, personnel deliberations of the Texas Government Code to consider the appointment, contract, and duties of the city manager. Time now is 3:17.
So we need,
We need a time to end the study session, I think.
no,
Don't we?
no.
In the study
We're
session.
gonna recess the regular meeting at this time so we can let people step out.
Very good. So we are going to recess our study session, and we will reconvene in a few moments to do the executive session.